If I told you that a Roman emperor tried to declare war on the sea, made his horse a priest, and tried to make him a consul, would you believe me? Well, today we are going to be talking about Caligula, the mad emperor who turned Rome upside down with his outrageous acts. Gaius Julius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, better known as Caligula, was born on August 31st, 12 AD. He was the third of 6 surviving children of Germanicus and Agrippina the Elder. His father was a beloved Roman general and a potential heir to the Roman Empire. His mother was the granddaughter of Augustus, the first Roman emperor. Caligula's early life was marked by both privilege and tragedy. As a child, he accompanied his parents on military campaigns in the north, specifically in the regions that are now parts of modern-day Germany and the Netherlands. Cities like Cologne, Köln, in Germany and Nijmegen in the Netherlands were key areas where his father led Roman campaigns. The soldiers adored him and gave him the nickname Caligula, meaning little boots, because he wore a miniature soldier's outfit, including small boots, called caligae. Despite the affection shown to him by the troops, his family's fortunes took a dark turn when his father died under mysterious circumstances in 19 AD, possibly poisoned by political rivals. After his father's death, Caligula's family fell out of favor with Emperor Tiberius. His mother and brothers were arrested and eventually died in prison. Caligula himself was sent to live with his great-grandmother, Livia, and later with his grandmother, Antonia. This period of his life was filled with fear and uncertainty, but he survived by maintaining a low profile and carefully navigating the dangerous political landscape of Rome. After the death of Emperor Tiberius in 37 AD, Caligula was declared emperor. The early months of his reign were promising and marked by public joy and celebrations. Rome welcomed the young emperor with open arms, hoping for a new era of prosperity and stability. Initially, Caligula demonstrated clemency and generosity, releasing political prisoners and abolishing unpopular taxes. This period of goodwill, however, was short-lived. Within months, Caligula's behavior became increasingly erratic. Some historians speculate he suffered from a severe illness, possibly encephalitis, which may have affected his mental state. His transformation shocked Rome. Caligula spent lavishly on games, spectacles, and his own luxurious lifestyle. He completed grand construction projects, including 2 massive ships, considered some of the largest and most luxurious of ancient times. One of his most infamous acts of extravagance was his affection for his horse, Incitatus. Caligula reportedly made Incitatus a priest and planned to make him a consul. This act was likely a satire of the political system, mocking the Senate's incompetence. Caligula's cruelty was notorious. He enjoyed humiliating senators, executing or exiling those who displeased him, and forcing families to watch the executions of their relatives. His reign was marked by a series of bizarre and sadistic acts that instilled fear and loathing among the Roman elite and the general populace. Caligula declared himself a living god and demanded to be worshipped. He built temples for himself and even had statues of himself placed in Jewish synagogues, provoking unrest. He often appeared in public dressed as various gods or goddesses, further fueling the belief in his madness. He would refer to himself as Jupiter in official documents and expected others to do the same. His obsession with his divinity knew no bounds and extended to elaborate public ceremonies where he would make grand displays of his supposed divine nature. Caligula's extravagant spending drained the Roman treasury. To replenish it, he imposed heavy taxes, confiscated property, and even auctioned off the lives of gladiators at public games. His reign instilled fear among the populace and the Senate. His unpredictable behavior and cruel punishments created an atmosphere of terror. The financial strain he placed on the empire and his arbitrary execution of senators and equestrians weakened the political structure of Rome. The emperor's erratic actions and despotic rule destabilized the government and undermined the rule of law. On January 24, 41 AD, after only 4 years of rule, Caligula was assassinated by his own guards in a conspiracy involving the Praetorian Guard and members of the Senate. His assassination was brutal. He was stabbed 30 times by his own guards while attending a theatrical performance. After his death, The Senate attempted to erase his memory by destroying his statues and proclaiming a damnatio memoriae, an official condemnation of his memory. His name and likeness were removed from all public records and monuments. Despite their efforts, Caligula remains one of history's most infamous rulers. His life and reign have inspired numerous books, films, and television series, highlighting his notoriety and the bizarre nature of his rule. Caligula's ships on Lake Nemi were floating palaces with marble floors, plumbing, and gardens. They were rediscovered in the 1930s and are considered engineering marvels. The craftsmanship and luxury of these ships provide a glimpse into the grandeur and excess of Caligula's reign. Some historians suggest that Caligula's drastic change in behavior could have been due to an illness such as encephalitis, epilepsy, or poisoning. This theory posits that his sudden descent into madness may have been triggered by a physical ailment, which drastically altered his mental state. Caligula's early life was marked by family tragedies. His father was possibly poisoned. His mother and brothers were starved to death under Tiberius' orders. Caligula himself was sent into exile before becoming emperor, a period that deeply influenced his later behavior and distrust of those around him. Most of what we know about Caligula comes from Roman historians like Suetonius and Cassius Dio, who wrote years after his death and had their own biases. These accounts are sometimes considered sensational and may exaggerate his actions. While Caligula's cruelty and excesses are well documented, it's important to consider the possible exaggerations and the context in which these accounts were written.